I mean, that's one of the factors of like fighters that you have to entertain, and that's why I think like Broner, even with his losses, he keeps people like marketable.
And he's so proud of it too. He's like, even if you guys want to see me lose, like you guys are still gonna be watching. Anyway.
He walks around like he's 25-0. Like he walks like he's never lost. Like, and people will pay to see him get beat again and again, and he walks like a winner. And so that's why he's still on these cards. We talked about, I was like, if he loses again, he should be done, but he finds a way to stay.
Yeah, I don't think he will be done
Right,
anytime soon, unless he like gets jail time or like.
Well, he isn't. He has to do his time with Al Heyman before it's all done.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a good test for, these.
He became like a stepping stone, I think, because he was like such a good fighter coming up, and he's a 3-division world champ, correct?
Yeah.
So it's like he was fucking everybody up, and can we cuss?
No, yeah, we're good.
Oh, sorry. I forget. Sorry.
Of course.
So
it's encouraged.
He was beating everyone, and he was unstoppable. And then after the Maidana fight, it's like, damn, like he's never been the same. Because even against like Mikey Garcia, I was like, you know what? I don't want to count him out, because if he goes back to his like pre-Maidana self and he's like devoted and he's disciplined, he might give Mikey some problems. But then like just watching it was painful. I was like, damn, Broner sucks now, you know? Yeah. And then with Jesse Vargas, it's funny because he was losing the first half and then he came back to win the second half.
We actually had money on him. This guy had money on Vargas.
Well, that Jesse Vargas is also, I think, in my opinion now, just a stepping stone too. He's just a person with a name that he wants to be like, especially in that division 147. He ain't got no business doing anything at 147. So I just feel like these are just guys who used to be world champions who are now stepping stones for the new people to come up, and they look good on a resume. So with Broner, it's like he's never been the same. And then against Pacquiao, I feel like a lot of people are again like, oh, Broner's gonna sleep Pacquiao because it's gonna be fun, but will he let his hands go? Because that's still what we haven't seen from him. I guess on the second half of the Jesse Vargas fight, but Jesse Vargas is Jesse Vargas. You know, I think Maidana. I mean, I think Pacquiao still has some left in the tank.
No, it's funny you mentioned like, well, he let his hands go. So every now and then, if I spar with my friends, I sometimes do not let my hands go. And if you like get hit, it's just so hard. It's so easy for you to say it, but like when you spar with somebody, sometimes you just want to defend yourself because you don't know how hard you get hit. And that's why from now on, I'm not going to blame anybody if they don't want to like get hit, because like that's.
But is it because you're scared of their counter punch and their speed?
It's
in
a
their
number.
It's
it's just a number of things.
I think it also might be like a natural instinct, dude.
Yeah,
because like nobody likes getting hit in the face. Come on,
it's a number of things.
But you see, going back to Broner, that's why I don't like rating these guys so high, like Crawford and Spence, because skill to me it doesn't tell me anything really. Because Broner, right? You said earlier he was running through everybody in the lower divisions, but when he finally fought against good competition, then what happened? Right? That's why when you guys say Crawford number 1 pound for pound, I laugh at that shit because it's funny to me.
Yeah, nobody's
until he's tested, I guess.
He's never been tested. So
I don't think nobody has him at number 1 pound for pound. No, I haven't seen anybody.
ESPN does.
ESPN has him at number 1, Loma number 2.
That shit was so funny. It was so funny, dude, because I was watching I think it's A Los Golpes, the show with Julio Cesar Chavez.
I saw it yesterday.
So basically they were talking about the fight, right? And they were kind of criticizing him. And they even mentioned that, he should step up and fight against better opposition like Errol Spence, because both of them haven't really fought like anybody like top pound for pound. And they're saying, this fight could propel their careers, which I agree with. But then after all the criticism, Julio Cesar Chavez still like, I think Crawford's number 1 pound for pound though. So I'm just looking at him like sitting back laughing because I'm like, that's some ESPN politics shit. Like, come on, dude.
Well, I mean, I'll get to it once I go with that, and then you'll understand. Where I'm coming from.
But it's funny because they never mention his opponents. They never mentioned that he just started fighting at 147, and he's not even the number 1 rated at 147. So I think it's just funny, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, it's just everybody has a certain way to get to where they're at right now. So it's like you do your best with whatever you have. So if somebody gives you Benavidez, and that's the only welterweight you have in the top break stable, what are you going to do when the other guy does not want to negotiate with you?
What if someone gives you Triple G and you beat him?
Who are you talking about? What other fighter?
There's only one person who beat Triple G.
Yeah, but that's his division, right? Yeah, so, see, look, Canelo has...
So you still didn't answer my question.
No, I am. Because Canelo has the right to pick and choose whoever he wants.
What does that have to do with beating Triple G?
No, what
it's privilege.
I'm going back to your argument because Terrence Crawford doesn't have the privilege to pick whoever he wants. It depends on whoever he's on that top rank stable.
So he's never beaten a guy of Triple G's caliber, right?
Well, that's the
yes
thing.
Yes or no?
Like
it's a simple answer. Yes or no?
But the thing is, like he said...
The answer is no.
But the thing is, like he said, because
I understand all that, but that's not my question.
Because even look at Lomachenko. Like, we want more of Lomachenko, even though he has, like, really good fights and a good resume, you know, per se, in the amount of fights that he's had. We do want more from him, but every time we name a top-ranked fighter, we're like, oh, well, shit, Bob Arum. Like, even if we want this fighter, even if the fighter, it's like,
well,
even
Lomachenko
if they
already beat top guys, right?
Yeah, but...
Rigondeaux was regarded as a top 5 pound for pound, right? To most people.
And the thing
Jonathan Walters was pretty highly rated.
But he wasn't active for like 2 years.
Yeah, and Walters was with Top Rank. Mm-hmm. And Rock Nation had wanted to have Guillermo Rigondeaux out of his contract already, so they just released him to the hounds and get eaten up by Lomachenko. So there was a number. So that's what I'm saying. There's a context as to when a fighter fights a fighter, and that's one. If they're just gonna release him out of his contract, in this case, Rock Nation, right? Mm-hmm. Nicholas Walters, what you've been wanting to get paid? All right, here you go. If you're gonna get paid, you're gonna get paid inside the ring and not outside the ring. You're gonna get paid against Lomachenko. So that's a number of things. So when it comes to Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, don't worry, I'll bring that up in the next segment. But I'm just saying, there's just a context about why certain fighters fight other fighters, and so we can only judge by what they're doing with whatever they're given, right? If you're not knocking out somebody and you're basically in a decision against Benavidez, oh yeah, fuck out of that. Yeah. Get that pound for pound list out of the list already.
He needed that knockout. We talked about that. He needed it.
But that fight wasn't at 147, was it? It was
at
135. It
147.
I thought he went back down to 135.
Oh, who?
I thought that fight was a 135 fight. It was a 147 fight?
Yeah, it was 147.
The Terrence,
that's my whole point. Like, nobody even knows who he fought. Nobody knows the way he fought him.
Benavidez went up to 147?
147.
He was 135.
I don't even know who he is, honestly.
That was my first time. First of all, I only know the other brother because he's really good.
He was the world champion and he got the strip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cocaine All-Stars.
But from what I knew, I think Benavidez was like junior. He wasn't national champ too. He was.
He had a really good.
He was super decorated amateur, right? I mean, it's not the same thing. Once you get to the pros, it's like a whole different fucking level. But but like, I mean, I get it. You know, Crawford's up here in the eyes of everyone. I mean, you can't see it, but he's like way
up. Not on mine.
But in a lot of, he's highly
regarded.
Yeah. And Benavidez, like you said, a lot of people only know him because of his brother, because of the Benavidez brother, or because of his dad, the trainer. Mm-hmm. But they didn't really know. I don't think everybody knew that he was like such a decorated amateur, and that's what people were like, oh, well, he's gonna get fucking eaten alive. And I thought that too. I'm like, oh, fucking Crawford by decapitation. But then I'm like, oh shit, like
he put up a good fight for at least
for a couple like 6 rounds.
And I had it Crawford winning it by in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, like, or you called it.
Yeah, like before, like, oh, I think Terrence was gonna beat him up by the 4th or 5th round, but he was able to survive.
Yeah, I mean, he has a like Lily said, he has a good amateur. You know, and he showed his pedigree.
All right, enough of him. All right, my question will be: so resumes don't count for a pound list?
Okay, speaking of resumes, I saw this the other day. Like, some guy is like in love with Keith Thurman on Twitter, right? And he brought up a point that I was like, wow, I wonder what other people think of this. I think I posted it, not on the page, but like on the story. He said that even though, you know, right now who's at the top of the division, not supposedly, who are the champions?
Keith Thurman
at 147. Yeah. Errol Spence and Crawford now. That Crawford. So those two guys are like the champions, right? They're like the guys to beat at 147. Mm-hmm. And he said that even though these guys are the champions and they're highly regarded, Keith Thurman still has a better resume, even though he's been like inactive for forever. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, look at, even though these guys are like the guys right now, Thurman, who's been off for 2 years,
still has a better resume.
Still has a way better resume than these guys.
I tell these guys all the time.
You know, and I love Thurman, and I feel like it sucks that he's not active. Yeah. But it's true. I'm like, oh shit, that's true. He does have like a good fucking resume for 147.
And that's my argument when these guys rate Errol Spence and Crawford so high. I'm like, he's not even the number one at his division right now, right? He's calling himself a welterweight right now, right?
Because he's not the number one welterweight.
He fought. Oh,
now he is, but he's not the number one at his division.
Yeah. Last week, you said that, oh, he's not even a welterweight. I'm like, wait.
he fought.
He is fighting in the welterweight. His first fight in the welterweight division.
I meant it in the sense that
was a title fight, and he beat Jeff Horn.
Because I meant it in the sense of his opponents. Like he hasn't fought anybody. That's what I said. He's not an established welterweight.
But I'm saying, like, in his first fight as a welterweight was a title fight
against who?
Jeff Horn.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's why boxing is all subjected to your own opinion.
Yeah,
because we all agreed that Jeff Horn didn't win that fight against Pacquiao. Later on, I'm going to talk about scorecards regarding corruption, but it's all against. We talk about how in the rankings and the WBC or whatever you want to call it, the Ring Magazine, ESPN, they're not all credible because they never fought, right?
None of them are.
At the same time, too, who are these judges that are judging? Have they ever boxed before?
Exactly.
But wasn't your argument that when I texted you guys, so because you guys didn't answer in last week's show why you guys rank Crawford over Canelo in pound for pound list, right? So then I asked you guys on our group message, and all you sent was Ring Magazine's ratings and ESPN's ratings, right? That was your answer. So
for me, the reason
is kind of contradicting now.
I don't watch boxing inside the ring, dude. I watch boxing outside the ring.
Well, you should start watching inside.
Because that's that's where all the wars happen. That's the reason why HBO was gone.
So you're saying because Crawford is number 2 pound for pound outside the ring? Is that what you're saying?
Because being undisputed in today's world is hard to do because there's so many promoters having different fighters. There's so many promoters that have different networks aligning each other. So how do you try to navigate your way to get that belt from one network to the other?
Well, in my opinion, like you said, you don't validate Crawford as number 1, right? Because based on resume
or number 2,
or but based on resume, right?
He hasn't fought anybody.
I think we can all agree that Canelo has probably one of the best resumes in boxing.
Yeah,
he does. But because he's such a big star, people just don't fucking like him. Like he's not a likable guy to a lot of people, and más a los mexicanos, because I feel like
I wonder why. I don't know why that is.
I have a feeling that it's because Mexicans don't feel represented by him because he's light skinned, and because they see that he's like flashy, and they're like, ooh, ya se le subió or whatever, which is bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I feel like if he got this far, he should be able to spend his money however he wants to and show it off if he wants to.
And it was interesting too.
But I think that's why. Mexicans don't like that. Mexicans don't like seeing that shit. They want him to stay humble and be like whatever.
I mean, he does speak Spanish, like.
But the thing is, in my opinion, also because just like you're putting if and buts to every like champion that Crawford has fought, they do the same thing with Canelo because they're gonna say, oh, who has he fought? Who has Canelo fought? And even though you name champion, I loved his fight against Mosley, but people are like, oh, well, he was old.
Oh, that's him right there.
You know, or his fight against Kirkland, which Kirkland was like a bat. No, that's bullshit.
He's not giving him credit.
No offense. I didn't know. I didn't.
He thought he lost to Lara and who else?
No.
117 on 11 was
to Triple
bullshit.
G.
Remember that scorecard? That was bullshit. But I do think that he won 115.
See, that's why when these guys say it's all subjective, it goes both ways. Because these guys won't tell you that.
No.
He had him losing to Lara.
But with resume, you can make Amir Khan. Everybody was like, ooh, speed versus power. No, it wasn't a matter of if he caught him. It was when he was going to catch him.
I mean,
that was bullshit. Chavez Jr., only the casuals thought that Chavez Jr. had a fucking chance against Canelo, or the people from Sinaloa who love him. Yeah. Because that's unrealistic. No matter at what weight class, Canelo would still smoke him. But who else? Cotto. People were saying, the same people that were saying, ooh, Canelo's flat-footed ass is going to get smoked by Cotto's footwork. After that, they were like, oh, well, he beat an old Cotto. So it's, regardless of how good your resume is, people are still going to find a way to discredit you regardless.
I have him pretty high.
No, but going back to